Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm delighted to say that tonight I'm joined by two Christmas crackers. So we'll see you after this short intro. Well, it's just me and you, Dora. I haven't set this up. I don't know where Monday's gone. But it's good. First of all, Dora, how are you? Merry Christmas to you and your own.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, I'm good. After yesterday's game, I'm feeling even better. So, yeah, it was a good week. It was a good week.
Are you in Phil Brown's house on Monday? It looks like you're under
I started to panic and I pressed the button that clicked me out of the studio, and I've come back in. It's like I'm in a red lights district or something. Everything's just changed, you know. Or maybe I'm in Mars. I'm on Mars, you know, like in Total Recall when they went to Mars, everything was red like this, you know.
Yeah, you've got the Mexico filter on.
Yeah. How does this happen?
I don't know.
Can you bear it, guys? Can you bear it like this? Is this bearable for you?
Yes, it's all right. It's all right. You're good.
It's all right. Well, at the moment, we've just got Andrew in, who's calling you Omondino.
Oh,
and he's just got a question mark for you, Amondo. Yeah, okay. So we got, right, look, I'll show you what I've got for the show tonight, which we're probably not going to stick to. Dora, we want to give Dora like her opportunity to talk about what happened at Anfield. Jose's been chatting. There's stuff going on in Saudi Arabia. I found the best picture of a horse ever, and there's a little competition at the end. I'm going to ask you to guess who I think it is. Mr. B wouldn't let me put it on the eye test, but shout on the thumbnail. Shout out to Mr. B. He can't be with us this evening, but our thoughts go out to him. So, Dora, I would like us to start with you telling me about what you thought about yesterday. And on Monday, you can obviously join in with your reflection, with your, you know, having had a sleep and so on. So take it away, Dora.
Well, before yesterday, I was, even I think everyone kind of predicted that we are going to either get a surprising draw or, lose. I was, kind of skeptical about the game. I was actually thinking about not watching it, but of course, as a United fan, I always watch the games even when we are doomed. So I watched it. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with the way we played, especially defensively. I didn't like how we played in attack. Of course, it's not even about the execution that much, but the way the attack isn't consistent enough because we don't have a proper technical players who could actually pass. And I think that was a huge issue. And finish in the end, I think we had, a few chances where we could actually win this game. But overall, I'm happy with the draw. I know it sounds defeatist or whatever, but I think with the way we looked in the past few weeks, and especially this season, I think this was a great result. I think that, Liverpool couldn't finish anything. I think they have their own struggles, in my opinion. And kudos to Ten Hag, the way he set up the defensive shape. And I liked it. I really liked it. And honestly, I don't see us, especially with this kind of injuries, I don't see us, coming back, to the old ways, I would say, and actually getting results. I think this was quite, good performance where, I would of course, want to for us to be more effective in attack. But I think this kind of system at this moment in time and tactics suits us better, especially with those injuries. So yeah, I was very happy with yesterday's draw. So yeah, and also Anfield, as much as Scousers want to say they have the best field or home, they have home advantage and all that. I mean, it was really, really how do you say it? It was like a theater, in a theater. Or it's like I was watching an opera. Someone was screaming on that, they're singing, sorry, not screaming, and everyone was, being silent and listening. So yeah, you know what? For the best home advantage in whole Great Britain, I think they were kind of bad in my opinion. But I think that's kind of what big clubs in England kind of do. I'm not very as a Croatian, I'm not rating the atmospheres in England right now. Only few good places. But yeah, I think the game was good. I think we defended really well. I have, of course, I always like to see the mistakes as well. As much as we played okay in defensively, I think that the attacking players weren't good enough. Højlund missed that sitter. I was shocked how he missed that. Yes, it was a bit of an angle and it was a tough. I mean, whatever, but you need to finish it. A real finisher needs to finish it, and I mean, he just
go on, Dora.
Yes, I'm criticizing this. Yeah. Yes, I'm criticizing.
Do you think it was a bad miss?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I know he was under pressure, but I mean,
you'd have to be insane to say that he did everything well there, wouldn't you?
No, but of course, I thought that he could have done better. That's my opinion. Look, I'm not a professional footballer. I'm just a fan. I'm criticizing, okay? I mean, if I'm in that place, then maybe
Dora,
I would.
No, Dora. I completely agree with you. I will tell you why. I've just phrased the question like that. After we have to get to this, super chat from Mark Harris, who I think is that Benny Hill.
I think it is.
Ten Hag has no in-game plan. Bin McCrap, play the kids. Thank you so much, Mark, for this generous donation. But to be perfectly honest, it's Christmas. We'll read all your comments out. Just give the money to a charity or spend it on your loved ones or whatever. Although it's much appreciated. But Dora, the reason I was saying if you thought that was all poor and things is I had a big argument with Omondi and Mr. B last night where I said it was a shocking miss and that a proper finisher should score it. So I was goading you more into my camp before in comes.
Sorry, Omondi. I need to agree with BATHTIME here. I mean, it was a bad miss in my opinion. But overall, to sum up, my thoughts, I thought that, the players wanted it yesterday. The players were, running. They were good. They listened to the manager what he wanted from this game. If we were a bit more clinical, not just the Højlund chance. I think McTominay should have he had a shot on goal. Maybe Anthony should have done better. I think that overall he had some good moments, but his passes were a miss. He didn't pick his passes very well. And on the other side, Garnacho as well. That miss,
yeah.
I know he was pressured by, was it Trent? Trent. I just need you to strike it properly. So yeah, but I love the energy and I love the defensive shape, the attack.
I'm Dora. Dora, I have to cut in. Because we're gonna have to bump heads on this one, I'm afraid. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions. Right. So you talked about Højlund, the chance, and we deserve better is agreeing with you, as well as BATHTIME. That was an easy chance, basically. You guys are saying that he should have buried that. And I disagree. I thought he done the best he could do under the circumstances. But what really threw me yesterday about the show is that BATHTIME said the Garnacho chance was a better chance than the Højlund chance. And I watched it, BATHTIME, because during the show yesterday, I couldn't remember it. So I've gone back and watched it. And I thought, nah, that can't be what you're talking about. So Garnacho's come through and he had a chance to sort of shoot and it didn't come off. He flunked it in a way. I think that Højlund's chance was closer to goal, better. And Højlund done better to create the chance with his first touch and then shoot with his right foot where the goalkeeper came right at him, done the big crab, and cut the angle out. But the Garnacho chance, Garnacho messed it up himself. He could have done a bit better with the ball. So 2 big chances in the game. And I think Garnacho's more at fault than Højlund. That's my point.
Are you agreeing with me that the Garnacho chance was simpler to execute than Højlund's?
Yeah, he messed it up though. Højlund at least done the right thing. This is my point. Højlund done the right thing, setting it up for himself. Garnacho at speed, running in on goal. bust up Trent. I do think Trent's defending is not that great, to be honest.
Mhm.
I'm surprised how easy Garnacho was getting around him a couple of times. But I felt that Garnacho messed it up because he needed to calm down and get himself in position. Whereas when Haaland was in that position, same age, roughly about the same age as these two boys, he made the chance himself. And I don't know what sort of finisher would finish that out there in world football.
Honestly, I agree in the terms of with you that Højlund was under more pressure, right? He had Alisson in front of him, he had Van Dijk next to him, and on the other side he had the Greek guy Tsitsipas. I don't care, like Gyrios, whatever his name is. Tsimikas, sorry, I don't. I'm butchering foreign names right now, but yeah, Tsimikas on the other side, and it is. From our perspective, it looked kind of hard. You're trying to put yourself in his shoes, but as he is a number 9 for Manchester United. I know he's young, I know he has a lot of expectations from every fan, but I think he should have done better. And yeah, Garnacho, I thought that it was shocking in my opinion. I understand that that Trent kind of he went after him. In the end, he pressured him and all that, but you need to strike it. Like, I know that Garnacho has that in his locker. He scored so many goals like this. Just he would punch it out. He would the ball would go around Alisson or whatever, and it's good. But he flanked it. He had too many touches. He stayed with the ball too long, and I mean, both situations you could argue that they were hard in those moments. But I mean, we are Manchester United. Like I know these are kids, they are children, but they are playing for first team, the first team of Manchester United for the whole season. I think they should have done better, in my opinion.
All right, bath time.
No. We're doing comments. And then...
one more point, please.
Okay.
So we got Haaland, a left-footed striker. Now, I was going to ask you this, Dora.
Mm-hmm.
What in that situation? Left-foot striker. Left foot's your stronger foot. What would David Suker and what would Eduardo, when he was playing in Croatia, what would they have done? Would they have turned it to their right foot, or would they have toed it?
They'd have taken it first time.
They would take it first time. They were like that. They were goal poachers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think they've got a lot more creativity with their finishing.
And you know what, Omondi, a good point. BATHTIME said a good point. They would probably go. Alisson, he went like a crab. We also call through the. They would go through the legs, and I think they would score. Yeah, I need to. They were goal poachers. They knew how to score a goal, and I know Højlund will get to that point in his career. I certainly hope so. I think that he has that in his locker, but in that moment he just didn't do it properly, in my opinion.
By the way, two top class finishers.
Yes, and absolute brilliant boxer Edmundo as well. We were
Edmundo. I was talking about Eduardo, the
Eduardo da Silva
player.
He went to Arsenal and broke his leg. That one when he was playing in Croatia.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant that nutter at Vasco da Gama. Look, anyway, we're going to get back to this, but we're gonna do the comments first. So here you are, Andrew Williams, unsurprisingly simping for Dora again. And we've got Matthew Bassett in the house saying good evening all.
Hello, Matthew.
And I've got Andrew pressing me here. Do you still feel Mainu was poor yesterday? Omondi, are you regretting your Varane slander yet? I'll start. Well, what I said is I thought that Mainu's performance was being overrated on the basis that like everyone sees the same football match, but what our bias is what we think is effective in a football match and what we think isn't effective in a football match. And that's where opinions come in. I felt that Mainu was doing perfectly fine with his defensive work, but because it was a double pivot and he was the free pivot, I wanted him to get more control of the game. I don't think he played poor. I think that he was good and he showed quality, but you need more in these games. But I don't think he was poor. I think he was just adequate yesterday.
And can I defend myself with Andrew again? So, Andrew, the other day we had a discussion, and I don't know how you feel about this, Dora, but we were talking about if Varane leaves. And I said, well, it's no big deal to me if he leaves. What he did yesterday, he done the defending, what he's supposed to do. Won certain headers, led the line, but I felt that he was so protected. He had so many players around him. There wasn't any opportunities. Not to say he was outstanding yesterday. Everyone's saying that. I've seen Maguire play really well lately. When the game's been a lot more open, that's when you really want to test yourself. When the whole team's open, and then we've got transitions against Varane, then we see what happens.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that Varane, I don't know if you saw it on social media, he dedicated his award to the other players in the back five.
Yeah.
Did he really? That's a nice touch. Nice touch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's for all the things that are said about him, Varane's a classy guy. I think he's a gentleman footballer. And now we've got
a touch and Amrabat anyway.
Well, My Little Pony Amrabat. So Andrew, God, he's coming in thick and fast tonight. He's pleased with the fight shown yesterday. He thinks Scott was rubbish. Anthony worked his ass off, even though not amazing quality. Once again, I think that McTominay actually probably played a much more important role than people give him credit for yesterday, with the amount of duels he won and stopping the pivot going in. Like as Omondi said, like McTominay was on endo like an addict yesterday. Apparently, Dora, and if you're on endo, it means that you're smoking marijuana. And I only found out about this yesterday when Omondi found it hilarious when I said McTominay was on endo.
Well, thank you for telling me. I will use it.
Yeah. And then Andrew's saying they expected to just turn up and roll us over. Sport doesn't work like that. Yeah. And also another underrated fact about McTominay, what a brilliant bit of shithousing, making them attack the cop in the first half. Because that normally happens to us. You'd be amazed how many times we have to attack the Stretford end in the first half. So I thought that was quite good. And now we get on to the finishing argument. No finisher takes all of their chances, but that's a 50-plus finish for a top striker, referring to Højlund. And then we deserve better is in the house saying, hello, everyone, wave. Agreed, Dora. How many excuses for Højlund? And here's one of our regulars. It's Rajiji, WWE 2K. Good evening, peeps. Hopefully we are still behind ETH. I know it's almost January, but can't let the players win. Top news, I've heard is United want Ivan Toney to help Rasmus adapt to the Premier League. I've got a feeling that might be a bit of a gamble. Thank you very much.
I understood that reference.
Good one.
And then look at this. Here's Andrew saying these guys are weirdos. Which guys? Darius and Omondi. And then just a couple of hellos here. We've got DK Wilson in. We've got the Saski Guna. And then I haven't heard this one before. Spinning pretzels with your logic cakes again. So look at this, so biased. And then we've got my friend Mo saying, if service is non-existent, how's he supposed to score, he being Højlund? Well, look, just to finish on this Højlund thing, this is my sort of big concern about Højlund, is that I am terrible in front of goal. I'm much more likely to score from 30 yards or whatever. I'm a good ball striker. I know all the basics of how you should finish, but I can't do it. And I'm not alone in that. You'd be surprised how many really good players can't score in front of goal despite doing all the things right. And then you get someone like Danny Ings, who it'll go in off his nose, his teeth, his elbow, his arse. Like, there are just people that are able to score goals. And I'm concerned that Højlund doesn't have that, because I mean, Omondi, it's not in the air, but on the floor. Can you score against decent teams?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was a good goal scorer. I was quick, and one-on-one, I used to sort of just roll it in, just side foot it in, or thing. Kenny Dalglish, always heard about why Kenny Dalglish was so good. He used to shoot at the keeper's feet, because that's the hard to get down that low is quite kind of difficult. And 9 times out of 10, you'd get a deflection or go for his feet or go under his nutsim or something like that. So I was always taught, just shoot low at the keeper's feet a lot of the time, because it takes them a long time to get down low. There was a save the other day. I think it was there was a goal scored where the keeper made a big mistake. I think it was the Arsenal keeper where rather than use his feet like the Gays do, he decided to go down low and try to get the ball, and it went through him. And they described that as poor goalkeeping. So I think as a striker, like Rasmus could have done yesterday, shoot down and low at the guy's feet, especially with your weaker foot, and you got more chance of maybe going in.
Yeah, I was always told you want to aim about 4 inches off the ground towards the keeper's leg as well, because it's the hardest movement to save. And every time I missed, I used to think of that. Oh, that's what I should have done. And also for the Garnacho thing, in that situation, I think what most players do is they cut across Trent there.
True. Yeah, good shot. That's a good shot. I can go with that. That's fair.
Right. People are saying he's taking too many touches and things like that. I think it's combination of sort of a lack of experience and also maybe a bit of coaching. Where if you feel a player on your back, just cut across them, take the contact anywhere on the pitch. To be honest, that's why it's called a free kick. Like it's just free, take it. But have we got any other interesting comments here? Look, here's Andrew with his stats. He got 7 goals one season, and that season the team scored over 70 goals. Well, that's 10%, isn't it? I don't think that's bad at all.
I mean, that's more than a whole United attack. So good for
you.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that is. And now this is one that I wasn't prepared to talk about. But how bad was Onana yesterday? Personally, I felt it was one of his better games.
Honestly, I think sorry, Amondi, you can go. Thank you. I think that his distribution was poor, but I think that is his whole season. I don't think his distribution was particularly great throughout the whole season. I think he had one great pass towards Anthony in the attack, where we created a great how do you say it? A great situation for us to score. Was it McTominay at the end? But the problem is, even when he gets to to our wingers and all that, I think that Anthony, in my opinion, doesn't do that well with choosing to pass to the proper person. For example, when he passes to, if he wants to pass to, Højlund is free, he passes to McTominay, or the Garnacho is on the second post. He doesn't see him, he's all alone, he passes to someone else. So I think that passing selection is poor from our wingers, especially from the right side. But when it comes to Onana, I think that my issue with his, for example, I don't think he had a good save from those corners and free kicks. Van Dijk chance, what else was there? Another one I can't remember properly. I think Liverpool more missed than actually tested Onana. I think that Mo Salah chance was worrying for me, because Salah, he shot that ball in the middle of the pitch, and he theatrically, jumped after that ball, and I'm like, just take a step to the right and catch it. It wasn't even that, it didn't seem to me like, I know people hate this, argument or whatever, but I've seen the guy catch those balls, live balls, with much more power with his bare hands. And he wouldn't be even phased about it. And I know it's boring. You're constantly comparing the old keeper and the new goalkeeper. But I mean,
it's your reference, isn't it?
It's a reference.
It's been a reference for 10 years.
Of course, yeah, and you need to compare. And I think that he saves theatrically, in my opinion. And too theatrically, he's just jumping around. I think he needs to be. I think someone needs to. No, I think I know that's kind of a style of goalkeepers. Some of the goalkeepers today, but someone needs to tell him, you know what, Onana, you need to chill out, because I think his life would be easier as well. His life would be easier. I mean, if my life would be easier watching him and not jumping. Yeah, when he jumps like that for that easy ball, I'm jumping as well. He needs to calm down a bit. But overall, I thought he was
watch along, Dora.
Must
be amazing. Like a little gap in the box, or a little spaniel jumping around the room.
You would hear a lot of Croatian swearing. And you know what? I would like to think that people, think of me as a polite girl. So, yeah, you don't want to see that. But yeah, I thought when it comes to Onana, I thought that he had a good game. His distribution was poor for the most of the game, but he had some good moments. But yeah, too theatrical. He needs to chill.
There was one moment that really, really worried me in that game, and it was the Trent shot.
Yeah.
Do you remember Trent like dragged one and it just kissed the outside of the
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Monday, you've gone Dalek. Like I just felt like Anana was like running to the car park, or he was off to get a sandwich or something. I thought that was really poor goalkeeping. But now the cat's away, the mice will play. So we'll see what's going on in the comments. So Anana was like Johnny Wilkinson yesterday, kicking for a line out. Johnny Wilkinson is an England fly half, Dora, from about 20 years ago, like who played rugby.
It was
rugby. Okay.
Yeah. He should be making all of those saves. Completely agreed. We deserve better. Anana is awful at intercepting balls, claiming crosses, and he was motionless at some shots. He scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. I'm a big fan of that expression. And it's JR's in the house. He's obviously a talented goalkeeper. It's his
concentration.
Well, I know, but I was raised Catholic, so that's quite an interesting word to see there. Plus, he has to drop the sponsorship of Teflon keeping goalkeeping clubs. And then we're getting a shout out for your parrot here from Andrew.
He's alive, don't worry. He is alive. I think it will be 15 years since I've had him. I was in elementary school. I was 8th grade, I think. I was 14 when we got him. So yeah, I got old with him, but he's all right. Don't worry. He is all right. Yeah.
And then Brambino's in the house saying King Anana.
Clean sheet.
DGG was beaten quite a lot last season. Near post, far post, underneath him.
I mean, before, when he was great. Like, I get what they are saying, but yeah, he was great when he was.
The question was asked, wasn't it? How bad was Anana? And I think he, like Michael Jackson bad. That's cool. That's what I think he is. He's like Michael Jackson. There's different type of bad, isn't there? Since the 80s, you say, you're bad. That means good and cool and slick. And that's what he is. Not just that. I think I've been influenced by him now recently because I've seen a couple of interviews. They're out there on social media and YouTube where he's showing more of his character. And once you get to know who he is and what he's really about, you start to like the guy and you can forgive him for mistakes because he's so confident. He said, why would I care? I'm like the best Ballon d'Or goalkeeper in Europe. I was the Champions League best goalkeeper last season. I'm not going to drop off that much, He's given so much confidence. Someone would be like, I can imagine other keepers, or if you haven't got the personality or the confidence, you might sort of be sheltered and be protected by the media. But he's come out all chest, all smiles, all confidence, no flinching. He believes in himself. And I think that's what I like about people that believe in themselves.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, though, Amondi.
Yeah, like, but you can see
that remind you of? What quotes does that remind you of? I've proven it. I've been in teams of the year and things.
Muhammad Ali?
No, Maguire. That's
that's a big contrast, isn't it?
Yeah. Maguire. Maguire came out and said all those things, and it's like he always gets hung around there.
Did he need it?
Yeah. Like, I'm sure he did, but I think you should always be careful about being confident in public when you've made like big mistakes.
Yeah,
but that's my point. He's made all these mistakes, all these errors. He's become like Calamity James or Calamity Onana now, and he can still come out and say, "I'm good." I'm still the man. And I think that's what draws me to him, the character. And like you said about halftime, goalkeepers are always a bit crazy. Yeah, they're a bit crazy, a bit mental, and I like that about him. Guys, go and check out the interview because it would make you like him better. So all the people in the comments saying they want to Gary back and go back in time, trust me, this guy is the business.
Never let a goalkeeper drive, by the way. Like, if in your football team, do not get in a car with a goalkeeper. It's too dangerous.
Have you got
go with the left back. I remember playing. I remember playing against a team that were called the Young Farmers, and it was basically what you would expect. I would have been about 14 or something, and they were all around 18, all very red, like, they sort of came in barbers and stuff like that. And their goalkeeper, I'm not joking, came in a combine harvester and a big John Deere. Yeah, big John Deere tractor. Like everyone else came from the road, he came from the other side, and he was just shouting stuff up as he was coming, like he was in Mad Max. And obviously he was the goalkeeper. But I don't like telling stories about my rural football because they're so stupid. We once couldn't play because a runaway bull got on the pitch. And
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Where are you from?
You weren't wearing red.
I know, Dora. Like some of the things I could tell you about what used to happen. But anyway,
Oh my God!
all right. Let's go through some topics until and the main event is the picture of the horse. But also I've done some animations this evening where I've animated Hoyland's goal because I want to show some really clever stuff that happened in that move that I'm quite excited about. But first off, Jose Mourinho has been talking, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't listened to the podcast, so I don't know the context or the tone of this, and I'm hoping that the news source I've copied it from has presented it correctly. But first of all, he talks about second position is still the best after Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yep.
Equal best, isn't it, with Ollie? The European Cup is still the biggest achievement in the past 10 years or so. He means the Europa League Cup. I did my best, and it's not in my nature to go back and speak about, but I like to speak about the good things of the past. But there are still people at that club. And when I say people, I say some players, but also some other people who aren't players. They're still there. And after 2 months with these people, you are never going to succeed. So first of all, I want to play a guessing game, Dora and Amondo and Jack. Okay. I think that there are 3 players that Jose really, really didn't like that are still at the club.
Okay.
Who would you suspect that those players he's talking about are?
Okay, Anthony Martial, who threw him under the bus with Paul Pogba. I think that he didn't like Luke Shaw, obviously, because, there was this whole thing in the media of, oh, poor Luke, he's been crucified by Mourinho. Then he played a few games well. And then I think under Jose, I think that Luke Shaw actually was the player of the year by the fans. That I don't know if this is that year or the previous year, but there was, that
I think that was under Van Gaal.
And Van Gaal? I
think so.
Really? Oh, then I mixed it up. But I think that Luke, he didn't want to play Luke Shaw because he wasn't satisfied with the way he played or whatever. He had a problem with him. He obviously had a problem with him. The third one, I'm trying to remember who is there. I think maybe Rashford, in all honesty, but I'm trying to think about, the context of it, because during Mourinho's, reign, I would say you had Zlatan, you had, big personalities, especially in the attack, and I don't know. Did Rashford play that much under Mourinho? I cannot remember. I think he played a lot. Yeah. He played a lot under Mourinho, but Martial was kind of, he was in a pissy poor situation because they took number 9 shirt for him to give it to Zlatan. So I know there was this whole thing and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I think those are three players that he really doesn't like.
And I was going to call you Jose then one day. Monday Mourinho. What would you have? Do you have a different set of players?
No, I totally agree. And if you go to the comments as well, I think most of the comments are on the money as well with this. This interview, John Obi Mikel has his own podcast, and he was on Rio's 5 as well recently as well. Really talks really well. I like Johnny Obi Mikel. Never knew his personality, but he's got a good personality when he comes over really well, softly, nice guy. And he also said something which was quite funny. And obviously he's taken a dig at Man United because he always says second position was his biggest achievement. Basically saying, with what he provided me here, I came second, and that was like winning the title in his eyes, based on what the squad was like and what provisions he had, what he was able to get off the board or whoever. But he did say something very interesting. He said, "My most successful sides, I always have an African striker." And whether it's Etu when he won the treble with Inter Milan, whether it's Drogba, as you know, whether it's Benny McCarthy. He tried to get Benny McCarthy when he was at Chelsea. It's a good interview. Go and check this out. And he said, "Oh, I didn't have one at Man United. That's probably why I wasn't successful." But he makes a point that what he's trying to say here, because if we're talking about Martial and Rashford and Luke Shaw, we know Luke Shaw is overweight. I think it was a psychological thing where he tried to get at him to get him to change his attitude. Luke Shaw probably don't know his personality, but I imagine by that he's trying to push his buttons to get the fire out of him, get the rage out of him, get him being a beast of a left back, someone who's got a better attitude, a stronger attitude. That's what I think that was about. The other two, lazy, bad attitudes, and this is why I feel he likes African players as strikers, because they come from possibly a lot of the time poor background. They've got a belief in themselves, got a bit of talent as well, strong, hardworking, and they listen to their manager in a way. He doesn't see those characteristics with Martial and Rashford. That's my take on it. But very interesting interview. I like Mourinho a lot. I think in hindsight, we always look back and we can say, yeah, he done a good job.
Yeah,
I think Jose's being Jose and playing to the audience a bit with his African striker stuff.
Of course.
What I do know is that he had Lukaku at United, and a lot of people always used to say, "Why not play Rashford and Martial?" And I can't remember who we played, but we were useless and we didn't score. And afterwards, in an interview, said that's why you don't play Martial and Rashford. And he also used to talk a lot about how Luke Shaw had no brain and that he would play very well in one half and not the other, because when he was nearer the touchline, Jose could tell him what to do. Yeah, so, right. I mean, we've got up here, right? We've got Andrew saying Rashford, Shaw, Martial. We deserve better. Martial, Shaw, same people. Definitely Martial and Rashford. He hated Shaw at United. And then Damien Walsh, like a Drake Manner's finest, is saying that Luke Shaw is Man United's best left back, but he has a point with Rashford and Martial. And this has instantly started into Luke Shaw overrated argument. So you guys can enjoy that in chat, but I've got some detective work coming up for you now, where this is mainly for my friend Teddy. But he said that Manchester United still have a CEO who is an amazing person, and that's Richard Arnold. I had him as commercial director, not a CAO, and I'd love to have him on my side in my time here, but the club wasn't easy. I know everyone hates Richard Arnold. This is me, not Jose. I know everyone hates Richard Arnold, but around the game and from things I've heard, he's actually been all right. And I think that it's quite telling that Jose is throwing shade on Woodward here, basically, isn't he? Who wouldn't let him sell Martial. It's an example of player power. And I mean, do we have any comments on this? I know people really aren't interested in Richard Arnold and Fletcher and things, are they?
To be honest, we don't really know much. I know about the player side of things. We had a good chat about that. But this side of things, I'm just more interested. Oh, okay. What can we read into this?
Well, I mean, he's just talking about structure and things like that. And I just thought it was that we always sort of like, we only ever really hear negative stuff about Arnold, Fletcher, and Murtaugh and stuff. And I think it's when you hear about from a football man like Mourinho, who's worked with Russian oligarchs. I think it's just interesting. He talks about Richard Arnold. But this is the bit. I've got a detective story, and don't worry, I have the answer. So everyone in chat, I want you to guess who this is. When I was at Manchester United, I changed a player at half-time. I made a change at half-time. His agent was accusing me of bullying. I laugh about these times, but it's different times. So Jose is saying he took a player off at halftime, wasn't playing very well, and instantly he's got an agent on him accusing him of bullying him things. An example of player power and, well, more player pressure. But Omonde and Dora, I think I've worked out who it is.
Yeah, me too.
Come on, Omonde. Who do you think it is, Omonde?
Paul Pogba.
You think it's Pogba?
100%.
100%. Dora?
Didn't he subbed off Eric Bailly when we were losing against, what was the game? We were losing 2-0, and then in the end we won 3-2. I cannot remember the game. That was that situation, and I know he subbed off, but it wasn't a halftime. He subbed off 20 minutes. in 20 minutes, Juan Mata in the second half. But I don't think his agent would, cry about it because he was a veteran player. So I would argue, I agree with Mondi. It probably could be, what's his name, Paul Pogba as well.
We're going for Paul Labille Pogba. All right. Just some comments before I show you who I think it is. Andrew saying he agrees with Jose and all that, and it's the oft missed Solo saying good evening, everyone.
Yes, Solo.
We Deserve Better has given a bit of context to something that I actually forgot about, where the fight with between Jose and Martial started when he went home for the birth of his child. That I do remember that now. I think that's true. Moneybags Mourinho, his opinion. I mean, everyone's allowed their opinion. We deserve better, including you. But I mean, Mourinho's a titan of the game. I think, especially when you think about like how his team treated him at Inter and at Chelsea, the love they had for him. I think it's interesting to listen to Jose Mourinho. But Andrew is saying Pogba, Martial, Lingard is really throwing a lot out there. Fred. And then why this interview? Well, what I'm most surprised about is that Monday doesn't have beef with John Obi Miguel. I still feel that he betrayed us, to be honest. He signed for us.
Yeah, agreed. He's a mercenary.
Yeah, Monday, have some of that. All right. This is who I think it is.
Oh,
I think it's Luke Shaw.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to come with an Inspector Clouseau investigation, but you're spot on. This is more like a top, or his name, Drebin from Naked Gun. You're spot on. Name me a great detective. Starsky, Hutch,
Poirot.
Poirot. Yes, you're on the money. All the clue. Yeah, this is the evidence we needed. You agree, Dora?
Yes, and I think it makes sense because during that time, if I remember correctly, I think that everyone, I think the media, the fans at that time, even the social media, even, everyone was saying how, Mourinho, as you said, guys, he's too hard on Shaw. At times I heard people actually on fan cam saying that he's been, bullied or whatever. Like this bullied word, like it has been mentioned in the context of, Luke Shaw and Mourinho relationship 100%, because there were talks about it. I remember on the social media, the English media as well. Of course, they want to steer more, especially against Manchester United. So yeah, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm not for bullying, but Luke Shaw needs a kick up his ass because I'm not saying that he is overrated or whatever, but he didn't provide what we needed in the last 10 years. I expect a lot more from him.
Yeah, I find these comments extremely interesting, though, from Mourinho about not playing aggressively enough and giving up too much ground defensively.
Wow. Yeah,
that's something I'm going to look at with Shaw because I think Andrew mentioned it earlier. His positioning always seems a little bit dodgy, and here Jose wanted him higher up the pitch. And I've actually seen a very long video with Jose Mourinho talking about when he beat Barcelona. Do you remember when that big volcano went off and they had to go by a bus? He was at Inter, and a lot of his tactics revolved around his left back coming up the pitch, like ghosting in to create problems. And
I've seen that.
Yeah, I think that all his comments about Shaw not having a brain and things, I can understand why it was perceived as bullying, because you don't. I mean, like if my boss was out telling the Daily Mail like Darius doesn't have a brain, I'd be bloody livid. I wouldn't be able to sue him for libel because it's true, but I'd still be very angry. But anyway, sorry, I forgot about all the comments and all that. Stephanie Griffiths is in here saying 12 likes. Big up Bath Time at the Monday and Dora Plus chat. Look, it's Christmas. Don't worry about likes. Just put in comments and stuff like that. We don't care about super chats or likes at the moment. It's just about having good times and football conversations with our friends. And so first up, we've got John Murtagh has basically flown off to Saudi Arabia to try and raise funds after we crashed out of the European Cup. And it's believed that the 4 players on the list are Casemiro, Varane, Sancho, and Martial. And what we're going to do now, Monday, is we're going to play Kiss, Marry, Kill, where I'm going to take Jadon Sancho out of this and kiss a player is give him till the rest of the season. Marry a player is give him a new contract, and kill a player is just get them.
I don't want to say kill.
Get them out. Dump.
Dump. I'll go with that. Yeah.
Kiss, marry, dump. All right. Amondo, tell me which of these men you'd like to kiss first.
Just for, I'd say Varane. I'd kiss Varane because I just worry about our defensive partner. We've had 8 different partnerships in defence this season. We haven't had a settled defence. So Varane, I think we should keep him for now. Kiss.
Okay, Dora, who are you saving your kisses for?
I think our defensive vows, or I would say injuries, leads me to think that we should kiss Varane for now. Because we need people in that defense because Martinez is not reliable enough. You know, Maguire is like even him, he's getting injured, even though he's reliable. Lindelof is injured. You know, we are constantly having injuries in that back line. So yeah, we need more people there.
Okay, in comments as well, tell me who you're kissing. I'm not kissing Varane. I'm kissing Casemiro. I think we keep Casemiro till the summer. Because I don't think Amrabat's very good. I don't think Mainu is ready yet. I have issues with Eriksen. I think if we can get 40 million for now, 40 million in the summer, let's kiss Casemiro. We deserve better is kissing Casemiro, marrying Varane, knocking off Martial. And that is actually what I'm doing as well. Where are you kiss under the mistletoe, Stephanie? Right, Amonde. I'm going to marry Varane because I think that as a sort of reserve centre back and someone who seems to want to play for Manchester United, I think that he's quality to have around, and he brings out competition in the players around him. And as we're going to get a young boy in, probably a French boy, I think it makes sense to activate Varane's contract. You've only kissed Varane. Who are you going the whole way with? Who are you marrying here?
Well, kisses to the end of the season. Marriage is contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a bit messed up, but I would marry Jadon Sancho. And the reason I'm saying this, I know it's done. He's done, but he's young. He's got, if you can get a tune out of him, you've got a good player there. In the pre-season, he was playing in a role which is unfamiliar with him, playing as a false 9 sort of thing. And against the game against Arsenal, he played really well. And he looked like he was coming into form and getting his attitude right, you know. So I would marry Jadon Sancho and turn him around. You know, like women say, they go for the baddest boys. Women, they always go for these bad boys, don't they? Why? I can change him. So I'm going to be a woman right now. Just call me Susan, and I'm going to marry Sancho, and I'm going to say I can change this bad boy.
Amonde, you're just going to be crying in the corner, covered in wine, like about this. This is such a ridiculous thing. I know you think that Jadon Sancho's this really bad boy and things like that. He's just an absolute muppet. Like. He's had the biggest opportunity ever and wasted it. He's worse than Donny van der Beek, in my view. But just before we get to you, Dora, I've found a very funny comment, which is kissing Martial might injure I think that's one of the best comments we've had all year, Steph.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Bassett is kissing Casemiro, marrying Varane, but he wants to dump McTominay.
He's not on the list.
He's not on the list. That's how much he dislikes him. And Sancho's a good-looking lad. And I don't, Andrew, if you can tell us what you mean here, just on age. I'm assuming this is who you would marry, which would be Sancho. But Dora, who are you marrying here?
Well, you know what? I would switch up and say, I would marry Varane because it makes sense what you said. However, since I already said that I would kiss Varane, oh my God, this conversation is so weird. If someone comes in and hears this, oh God. I will say that I will marry Casemiro, even though I don't necessarily rate him right now. I think that he is past his best. I don't think that he would, how do you say it? I don't think he would, on these wages and all and everything around him right now, I don't think he would actually prosper in this league, because it's obviously too fast for him, too physical, and I don't think that he can, sustain his, quality here. But in my opinion, right, if Varane is truly, fallen out with, even though he's a gentleman, he seems like a really classy, player, up classy guy. If he's really fallen out with Ten Hag, I don't expect him to stay at this club for much longer. Hence why, the key situation with Varane makes sense here. But yeah, I would, if I have to choose, from, you said everyone besides Jadon Sancho, but like,
Well, I assume we were going to dump Sancho, everyone,
Yeah,
but a bloody
yeah,
Monday.
I would marry Casemiro, because at the end of the day, yes, he's still a winner. He won so much. He would be a squad player. He's 30, 31. My biggest issue is, his wages and, and all that. But it's Manchester United. Apparently, we have infinite money. It's not coming from my pocket. So he will be there regardless. So yeah, I would.
Bit of a loveless marriage, Dora.
Of course, but it is what it is.
Canada called Dora.
All right. Are we all dumping Anthony Martial?
Exactly. I've seen enough.
But
3 seasons ago, she should have been dumped.
How can you dump him when we don't have backup?
Who cares? We'll sign someone else.
I get Jake horse still again.
Yeah. Bring the horse back.
Yeah, God, yeah. On the theme of horses.
Yeah, well, the horse pictures at the end.
Yeah.
Honestly, horse seems great right now, because even unfortunately for us and even for him, I don't think Martial is of quality, and I think anyone who actually does his job on the pitch, it's better than Martial, unfortunately, in my opinion.
I mean, I love Anthony Martial. He's been my favourite player at United for years, but
I'm done with him.
It's his availability. It's like he's never there when I ring him. Like anytime I want to make plans, he's not there. You can't build a life around Anthony Martial, and I deserve better. So I'm dumping Anthony Martial, and I'm marrying Varane. And I hope that you enjoyed this romantic section on Man United players, which I personally think is much more interesting than like which ones would you keep. I want you to imagine your life with Jadon Sancho, and Omondi has done that.
It reduced me to tears and a nervous breakdown.
So let's see what everyone's saying. Now, Monday, you've started this. I was a bit worried that Fraggle might mean something that I didn't know, but a Fraggle is from. Is it Jim Henderson? Like
Fraggle
Rock?
Yeah.
Muppet. Yeah. Okay, he's a
Jim
Muppet.
Henderson.
So Damien wants to sell Anthony Casemiro Martial, and I'm surprised by this. He'd give Sancho one more chance. People really like Sancho, don't they?
Yeah.
They believe in him, but the managers don't. But all right, I think we'll draw a line under that one there.
That's a good one. I love that episode of what we did just there. Kiss, what's it called? Kiss,
Marry, Dump.
Kiss, Marry, Dump. Yeah.
I just think it's more interesting than all we've been linked to some transfers. Yeah. Speaking of which, we've been linked to some transfers. Look, centre back, then a forward, then possibly a late loan deal from Fabrizio Romano.
I hate loans at this club. I hate loans. I hate them so much.
Have you ever fallen in love with a loan player?
Let me think. I'm trying to think in the past, right? Not in the last 10 years. I know we had Falcao as a loanee. Who was, Weghorst. I mean, he's a good singer. He's tall. He's fairly good looking, I would say.
He's a good singer.
He's a great singer. There are videos.
Do you know who's a really good singer as well?
Yes, tell me.
Scott McTominay, and I'm not joking. He's a really good singer.
Yes, I saw that. But you know what I think. But you know what? Yeah, I get it. Actually,
Right,
I cannot slander McTominay here.
I'll give you two names of loans that I really liked. One was Tevez, but obviously that went a bit south.
Yes.
And then there's Heinrich Larsson, who
Yes, of
wow.
course.
Yeah.
I loved.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give a shout out here to We Deserve Better, because he actually brought up Larsson, and I didn't think that anyone would. And
I wanted to say his name, but you said it before me. But
oh dear, we're getting some terrible comments here. Have we got any mods in? I don't like those comments. But yeah, I mean, for me, like Henrik Larsson was a big one. But Amondi, can you think of any really successful Premier League loans for any club over the years?
Oh, you put me on the spot there. Loans. I think, like, when you mentioned loans about Man United, I was thinking way back. We don't usually loan players. Only in recent years, since Falco and Henrik Larsson and that, it's very rare you get loans in. Usually it's an emergency, because there's windows now as well. It doesn't really work out for us. So in the Premiership, I would say Henrik Larsson had impact for us, because he won us a trophy, a major trophy. I can't recall. I'm sure the guys in the comments will help me out on this one, because I'm stuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one who always springs to mind for me was a guy called Christophe Dugarry, who played for Birmingham City a long time ago. He was a super loan. And I think Kevin Campbell used to go on loan to various relegation-threatened clubs and keep them up. But I think it's also an interesting point that you've said that, United don't tend to do loans. And in the last couple of seasons, we've had Igalo, Sabitzer, Weghorst. I don't. We've got Amrabat and Reguilon on loan at the moment. We've got financial issues, but I suppose what I should really be asking here is: do you agree with this list that a centre back and a forward are the priority areas to strengthen at the moment?
Well, may I go first?
Of course.
I think, I know this. Sorry, I dropped something. I know that this club is in serious problem. We are having financial issues. We are having, trouble with getting rid of the players who are not a priority right now, who are not in the team, and they're just, taking those huge wages, and we cannot sell them to other clubs. But I think we need a proper number 8. And I know this is, all coming back to, Frankie de Jong saga and all that. Like, there are potentially, players with similar profiles, not maybe, I would say, in the same tier as Frankie de Jong, but, I think we as the club, we need to find some, diamonds in the rough, or maybe some hidden gems in the Europe, or maybe South America, or North America. I don't know, anywhere to find. We need a proper number 8, because I like Eriksen, but I think that he cannot play as you said, in my opinion, he cannot play 90 minutes consistently, because and at times, of course, it depends on the tactics and strategy, but his defensive, positioning is kind of suspect, in my opinion. And, Amrabat, in my opinion, I don't think he will fare out good, because he's been so poor on the ball. Even yesterday, he would get run, even though as a lot of people would say, we were compact. He was clogging up the spaces and all that in that midfield, and Liverpool players had issues with that. However, I think that he would a bit fast player, he would just he would be in a bad place, and he would the opposing players would just shrug him off, and he would get a yellow or make a foul. And I was excited for this loan at the beginning, but I don't think in the Premier League he's that good, unfortunately. He's so bad on the ball, especially in our club. And I think number 8 is we need that. We really need that midfield, because we had one good season of Casemiro. It was great, but we already know that even him, not just number 6, but as a midfielder, he doesn't fit in the team, or he's just not good enough with the way Premier League is playing right now and the tempo. He's getting old, and whatever. But I agree with that. We need a centre back as well. We need a forward. We need to strengthen our team. But
What's
that
your
midfield
priority,
is so.
Dora? Like
I would
centre
say
back, forward, midfielder. 1, 2,
from
3.
those three,
Yeah.
I think this is a good. How do you say it? A good order. I will go for centre back, then a forward, then a loan deal or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I tend to agree with you, Mr. Forbes. Forbes 500. What are you saying here?
Interesting that, because we conceded a lot of goals this season. Is it because of our centre backs not being good enough, or because of the system? The last couple of games at Bayern Munich and Liverpool, we've shown when we tinkered with it a little bit, being a bit more harder to beat. So I don't know whether it's necessarily a centre back problem. We've got Harry Maguire, Evans, Varane, and Martinez to come back in as well, and also Luke Shaw plays there. I don't think centre back's priority. Expectations this season, we want to try and fight for top 4. That'd be great if we could try to do that. I don't think centre back is a priority for me. That'd be lower down the list. A forward would be a priority for me, because I know we conceded a lot of goals, but the front three, I heard a stat the other day that Havertz has scored 4 goals now. It's more than Anthony and don't do it, Dora.
Rasmus.
More than Anthony combined, Rasmus and maybe take your pick, Garnacho, and throw in Rashford as well. Maybe that's 4 goals combined.
Yeah.
That's really bad. So I think if we get another player in who's good, can come in, have that impact. It's hard, isn't it, in January to have a player come in, have that impact. They have to be ready-made, don't they? It's not someone you bring in January on loan or whatever who's going to be, in the future he'd be all right, grow into his blazer sort of thing. I think it has to be someone ready-made who's ready to go. And I think we were looking at a guy from Stuttgart who's got like 15 goals in the Bundesliga so far. As a striker, I just think a forward, whether it's someone who's going to impact and have the ability to put these guys under pressure, up their game, and maybe a right winger, possibly.
Okay.
So that's my priority.
I would just counter you somewhat there, Amondo, using your own logic, which is that you said that it's the system that's faulting the centre backs. Do you think that the system or the midfield could be faulting our attacking players?
Good question.
Whilst you think, I'll do some comments.
Good one.
First of all, Andrew, the X Factor Williams, is saying good singer, shit footballer for McTominay.
No, not McTominay, for Weghorst.
No, it'll be for McTominay.
All right.
Heinrich Larsson, one of the best ever strikers I've seen in person. And this is such a criminal miss for me. I've forgotten the other loan signing that I fell in love with is Andy Gorham, who was at Manchester United when Walter Smith was the manager, and it's a bit of a hero of mine. But Billy Smith is saying, you lot need a left back as second priority, right winger as the main priority. I don't disagree with this, but the issue is that we're okay at left back when everyone's fit. But right winger, I tend to agree with. If we're losing Sancho to Saudi Arabia or like to the Vanarama or wherever he's going, I would like someone in who can play a bit better than Anthony and Palestri. So, JR is saying he's pissed off Dougherty. Birmingham was awesome. Not sure why. Andrew thinks we're missing a CM. Is this, Andrew, because of a lack of bodies because of the injuries, or do you just think we need another one regardless? Good midfielder who can score. So, look, Damien Walsh, biggest problem is midfield and centre forward. A lot of people are talking about a midfielder here. They're sort of agreeing with you, Dora. Tadibo, with our Nice connection, will fast track him to us possibly. I think that's the overwhelming favourite. And Andrew is saying, would anyone like a fried egg sandwich? Absolutely not. At this time of night, you're a murderer to your arteries, Andrew. Get Tony from Brentford. Surely he'll be hungry for goals. Not for me. Like Dora Monday, would you take Tony in with the baggage as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not leaning towards that transfer, to be quite honest with you. I mean, he's great at scoring goals, but he's been out for a very long time, and as you said, he has a baggage, and
I think he fits the bill for a Ten Hag striker of what we've seen in the past. Someone who comes deep, holds up the ball well, links up the play. In that respect, yeah, but I just don't know about him. I've seen a lot of stuff that turns me off him with his attitude. Maybe he's too cool for his own good, but he's a very good player. He's proved it in the Premiership as well. And big up to Brentford Football Club for signing players like him, finding him in lower leagues or he's been in and around it. He was at Newcastle, wasn't he? And also finding Ollie Watkins as well. Those two have been signed by Brentford, moved on, and proved to be great players.
And I saw Tony play at a stag do that I went to in Peterborough like 6 or 7 years ago. And I've got to confess, I wouldn't have thought that he would end up being a top Premier League striker. I have my doubts over his character and a little bit over his quality, because I believe Brentford are a little bit like Brighton, where you're taking a huge risk if you take a player out of that system and into your own system.
Fair.
Like, but Miguel Arteta is a better judge of a player than I am, and he seems to want him. So maybe.
Yeah.
And then it's Mr. B. We need an unselfish wide man. And any more comments here? Andy Gorham, very good memory. Yeah, I love Andy Gorham for lots of reasons. Emma K, seems like when our defence is good, our attack is bad. When our attack is good, our defence is bad. Midfield is probably the issue. Can't seem to connect attack and defence. I think that's probably a fair comment. And one of my favourites, Andrew's brother, Tyrone, is in the house. It's the Williams brothers. I wish you... No, they're tennis players. Yeah. I wish United had gone for Goretzka. He is the sort of CM Ten Hag should have gone for. And Andrew is being on the same wavelength with his brother, is saying we need someone to take the ball off the fence and get it to the wingers forwards. And then a couple of names here that I don't know much about.
Mokoku's the young talent from Dortmund who came through, 15 years old, scoring a bag full of goals. He's at Dortmund. The other guy, Karim, is also at Dortmund now. He came from the Red Bull sides, Adeyemi. He's playing.
He's very fast, is all I know.
And Benjamin Šeško, he is now in Leipzig. He's a Slovenian. Yeah.
He was the Ray. All right, boys and girls.
Sorry, bath time. I just want to answer your question because you asked me to think about something.
I
don't think the midfield is the issue about the forwards. I watched the game yesterday. I saw Anthony getting great positions against when we didn't have much of the play and they didn't use the ball well. So that's just an example of where these guys do get in good positions. We just get another player would use the ball a lot better than that, and we would actually score goals. So I don't think it's the midfield.
Yeah, I think someone earlier said that Anthony is playing a bit better. And I think a lot of it is due to not McTominay because of his skill set, but just his positioning. That Anthony's passing range with that left foot is so limited that he needs someone within 10 or 15 yards, like on a straight line, in order to give him the ball. And Bruno's never going to be that man. He doesn't hold his position well outside there. So I don't know about Anthony. He lacks quality, but I have seen huge improvements in his game where he's not spooning shots or crosses anymore. He's trying to combine, and his work rate is fantastic. But he still looks like a left back playing at right wing to me. And look who it is. It's late, so he's Media House. And it is quite late at the moment. We do have some more stuff we could do, but it depends on Dora and OMONDI if they have time to continue, or I can give it to someone. Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it. Show what you made that time. Show it.
First of all, it's my horsey. Now, Dora, what does this horse remind you of?
Well, with this beautiful blonde hair, it looks like Pavel Nedved or Guti or Michel Salgado or David Beckham when he had. But, I mean, it looks like someone from the current squad, I would say. I don't know. You tell me, Batman, please.
This is a Shetland pony, right? Yeah. You know them little horses. Can you imagine one doing a little canter? Yeah?
Canter?
It's like a horse word for running.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I think that Amrabat runs like a Shetland pony, and it's something that I've spent a long time trying to work out what Amrabat reminds me of, and it's a little Shetland pony running about.
Oh my God!
Oh
Big
my
up here,
God.
Tyrone Williams. That's that's an awesome comment.
Yeah.
The horse looks like. Do you ever watch Rent-A-Ghost? When it's like humans.
What
in
is
the horse,
Rent-A-Ghost?
Rent-A-Ghost. Anyone remember
What is
that
that?
Rent-A-Ghost?
No.
The old children's TV show with
Wait a minute. Is it the bootleg Ghostbusters?
No. Grot Bag, Rent-A-Ghost.
Oh, Grot Bags.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
The witch Grot Bag. So they used to have a horse. Was obviously two people in a horse outfit. That's what it looks like. I was thinking, is that really a horse? Or is that two people in a horse outfit there? And if that horse, I've seen girls like that down Yates's in Ealing with that hairstyle, you know. Shazza. I call her Shazza.
I think that's a gorgeous looking horse, to be honest.
Yes,
like,
it's magnificent.
Yeah,
it's great,
and it runs like Amrabat. To be perfectly honest, like,
you know what? After the show, I'm going to go on YouTube and see Shetland pony running because I have to see it. It's all right seeing the picture, but I have to see it running because I know you're on the money here.
Yeah, honestly, right? Okay, so that's the picture of the horse, but I do have two other things that I could show you. One is we could talk a little bit about the role of a double pivot with some boring diagrams and stuff, or I have animated I've animated Rasmus's chance from yesterday, which I think is one of the best bits of play I've seen from Ten Hag this season. So it'll be kind of a return to the eye test. So it really depends on what you guys want.
B for me, B.
Yes, animation, please.
Because we did discuss this earlier. We did bump heads on it, me and Dora. So I think it'd be great to sort of end the show with being conclusive, whether it was a good chance or whether it was a poor finish.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen. This isn't particularly professional. Omondi is going to talk me through if we can see it or not. I'm just going to press entire screen. Okay, can we see everything?
Oh, we've got a tactics board up. It's been a long time, tactics board. Dust it off. Dust it off and let's get going. Wow.
This is the eye test. So for anyone watching, this is about the 66th minute if you want to go back. And you can see here that we are in a double pivot formation with Delot coming in to be one of the pivots. Just a little bit on the double pivot is what you normally have your centre back on the same line as your pivot, and it's used against 4-4-2s. It's a very outdated formation, and maybe we can go into it a bit later. But I want you to just have a look at all the movements here, and Omondi will give you some commentary. So whenever you're ready, Omondi, tell me.
All right, let's go. Goal kick. Varane's got the ball. Pass it to Arnaldo. Splits it wide to Evans on the right-hand side. Plays it into Anthony. First time pass into the midfield. It goes back to Scott, who plays it wide to Anthony. Here he is in a good position. He squares it to Scott, who rolls a lovely ball between the lines into Rasmus. First touch on his left foot, onto his right, and it's saved by the crab goalkeeper, Allison. Is this first time football they were playing there? Because it looks like first time.
Yeah, one or two touches.
Okay, nice. Beautiful move. Scott McTominay, wow. Scott McTominay with that little nice dink pass. Oh.
All right.
I think whenever Scott is not that much on the ball, he's great. His one-touch passes are actually okay, but whenever he needs to, do something more, I think he is kind of limited. But these kind of situations, I rate actually McTominay in this situation. So yeah, great chance,
key pass. The pass that was played from the centre back. I thought it was going to go into midfield. It went straight to Anthony.
Well, this is
through the line.
Yeah, this is
a low pass, or was it a long?
No, it was a chip. It was a chip pass.
Okay.
This is what I want to talk about here. Is this is the free kick route? The goal kick routine we did all match that people complained about. And here, I'm very impressed with two players in particular, Evans and Kobe. So if we just watch what happens here, Evans splits, right? And he knows that Salah is going to bend his run to try and cut out Onana.
Yep.
Diaz is going to be moving on to Delo, and Evans' body shape, as well as Kobe's run, entices Tsimikas up the pitch. If you watch there, just there, when he plays the ball, Tsimikas sees the position of Diaz, because, to be honest, Salah's not worked hard enough here.
Yeah.
And like Scott is doing quite well. Scott and Garnacho and Rasmus are doing really well here, because what they've done is the three of them have pinned 6 players
Great
in
stuff.
the centre. Yeah, so we're able to get through, and the obvious ball is to Kobe, and Tsimikas has fallen for Evans's dummy.
Psych.
So
That's
look at that.
Wow!
That's an
Did
experience
he really make
where-
the left back really go with him that much? Wow!
Well,
Missed
the
him.
thing is, I watched it twice to see if I could see if Virgil van Dijk was talking to Tsimikas, but Van Dijk thinks he's all right here because he's stepped up, and Van Dijk and Konate are very good at defending that space in behind, right? But what they weren't expecting, basically, was a moment of quality from Anthony, where he
Was
just
that first bounce pass? Was that first time bounce pass from a chip? From a chip. Wow!
Like, well, it was 2 touches, but he's got it. He's got it in, and Gravenberch and Trent haven't reacted to this. They're expecting Van Dijk to just clear through Anthony. And to be honest, I think Van Dijk should just smack Anthony here, because there's so much space in behind. And like it's a 4-on-4 basically with Rasmus ahead of Trent. So then Scott moves in between the lines, and Endo is sleeping here. He's not a very good player in my view. He didn't know what to do. Konate covers, and Gomez has got a problem with Garnacho, and Virgil van Dijk has got decisions to make here, because he's on Anthony and Tsimikas is out of the game. And the rest of the team are in an okay shape to defend a transition. To be honest, you can see we've got Garnacho, Scott, Rasmus, and Anthony in attack. We would ideally like one more person. And here, to go back to those comments Jose Mourinho made about Shaw not being aggressive enough, I think that Shaw should be breaking himself to run in between Gravenberch and Gomez here, to give Gomez a real issue about what to do with Garnacho. That just my view.
But, it would work. That would be nice.
And then we go to the next bit. Shaw a little bit behind, Garnacho playing in a half space. Anthony has got a lot of space to attack here. Like this here, the 5 and the 4, this has basically now become the channel, and Endo should be defending that channel. He doesn't. Anthony gets in, and then this is great, because we're going to get the underlapping run basically from Rasmus, who he could have taken this ball, but he let it run. It goes to McTominay, who
I love this.
He plays the ball through for Konate, and then Rasmus, I think, and this is my issue with Shaw here, is if you look at the 5, 4, 6, 8, and 3, so Amrabat, Kobe, Delo, Evans, and Varane, that's a rest defense. Shaw is able to join the attack. If Shaw is 20 yards up the pitch, Garnacho is free. And it gives and it gives a problem. And you can see that Rasmus has done great to attack the space in between the centre backs. And then his finish lets him down. But when you look at that, there's a lot of bodies around him. But I expect a top striker to do a bit better there. And you can also see that Shaw's not needed there. Where Shaw is, he's not needed. He should be the other side of Gravenberch at a minimum for me. So we'll just play it one more time. And then
so as soon as Shaw realises it's developing down the right-hand side, he should have clocked that Kobe's as a 5 rest defence and should have bombed forward, attacking that space. Is that what you say? Okay.
Yeah, basically, because look, we've got 4 players here. We've got Scott central, we've got Rasmus central, we've got Anthony interior, we've got Garnacho interior. Shaw should be wide to stretch that, because Gravenberch has been poor here. Endo's been poor. Trent's actually been pretty good to get back here. But if there's one extra player there, that is a massive overload at the back post. And it makes me question Shaw a little bit, because in the same way I'm beginning to turn a little bit on Bruno and Shaw, because they're not doing what the system needs. I'm not doubting their quality. It's just Shaw is a big boy, right? And he's played football for a very long time. He should know that he's got to occupy the wide area. But I'll play it one more time and then we'll look at any comments. Dora, would you like to do some commentary here, like a Monday style?
No, please.
I didn't think you would.
No.
But it's just...
I mean, I can do it in Croatian, but I think it would be
please,
weird. So
please.
No.
I want to do it again. Say Endo got smoked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Amanda?
All right, let's go. Goal kick here. Anana plays to Evans. He got his head up. Plays it to Kobe. No, Kobe deceives him. Goes into Ante. Lovely layoff into Scott. There's opened up here for Man United. Ante's in on goal. What's he going to do? He drives. No, he squares it to Scott. And there's a run from Rasmus. First touch in out of his feet. Right foot. Right at Allison. What a lovely move by Manchester United football. And I forgot to say the Endo just got smoked. Wow. You have to give Scott credit, don't you? I mean, for this right there.
I mean,
What?
you are a better commentator than those MUTV guy. He's just boring. You are amazing.
Don't you think the South American commentators are just fantastic when they score?
Oh my God, I love them.
No one in Europe
so
does that.
much.
No, I don't know who your favorite. Is it Martin Tyler? Martin Tills? They say, oh, he's a good at his goal celebrations, or getting excited about goals. But the South American way is outstanding. It really turns you on. When you see it like that, that's what I loved about the eye test. When you get the tactics board out and you actually go through the goal again, and you can actually see the movement, because you can watch the game, you don't get to see everything on the screen, but seeing the movement there and how it develops and what needs to be taken, getting everyone in tune for that one little move there, it's fantastic.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think against Copenhagen, McTominay and Rasmus's goal came from very similar situations. Like having players closer to Anthony is unlocking our right-hand side. And my big doubt about Scott higher up the pitch is I'm okay with him missing shots and shooting instead of passing or whatever. But I've always wondered if he's got the subtlety to play the final ball. And that's twice now in situations he's made the right choice. So I'm okay with McTominay that far up the pitch at the moment. And I mean, I think tomorrow will be my last day for a while because it's Christmas holidays. But maybe we can do some more tactical stuff if you like. But we'll do some comments just before we finish. JR is saying bring back the eye test. Look, if you get someone to do the animations for me, I'm very happy to do it. But I it's just too much. Anana didn't put it out of play. This is Andrew who's saying that Anana was useless all match. But a lot of that is down to Johnny Evans going splitting there. Really underrated.
Agreed.
And Tyrone is saying that Rasmus Højlund chant showed how Eth wants us to play regularly. Rasmus was unlucky not to score. Less on unlucky, more on how he wants us to play regularly. I completely agree. This is a pattern of play that we're seeing more and more from United, of creating chances on the right-hand side from goal kicks. It's on the left-hand side, we worry. Zoe is saying, do you think Ten Hag was too cautious? Absolutely not from me.
No. I think it was a perfect situation, perfect tactic for that situation. I thought it was good. Yeah,
two best chances were to United. We limited them to a lot of pot shots. I think it's probably the best away performance I've seen since Ole used to go to the Etihad, to be honest. And Emma, and let's just remember that Emma is Danish, and I think Rasmus is as well, is saying, to be fair, if you've got 3 of those chances, he probably scores 1. I don't know if that's criticism or praise. And now Tyrone is saying, I never thought I would say this, but we look more solid with Bruno out of the team. If I were Ten Hag, I'd drop him for a few games. I've got to be honest, I'm kind of in the same boat as Tyrone. I think it's something to look at. But we were very solid against Bayern with Bruno playing deeper. But I think Bruno, I'm beginning to wonder about Bruno. Omondi, you're shaking your head at me.
Yeah, he's like I said yesterday. He's one of our best players. He should be the first name on the team sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to find a way to get him playing right. But I hear what you guys are saying.
Well, that's I kind of agree with that, Monday, but I'm beginning to think left wing, or I don't know how good he is with his back to goal, but I'm beginning to think that Bruno is not disciplined enough to play in the midfield despite everything that he brings. Because if he's in that team yesterday, I don't know if we come away with a 0-0.
Wow.
Do you disagree, Dora?
No, it's insane because I agree with Monty. He's probably our best player in terms of his quality and all that. However, this season in particular, I think that he's struggling in this team. And I think he's struggling with the way Ten Hag is trying to play. And you know what? In all honesty, I think that him and Rashford are kind of in the same boat in terms of that Rashford is just lost. He doesn't know what to do. But Bruno is, he's trying be his best, but I think at times he's just, as someone said in the comments, I think he's too chaotic. I think he needs to be more disciplined and more, more settled in that number 10 spot, because I've been seeing him all over the pitch, and I don't think that Ten Hag really wants to play like this. And I know he rates him, he said multiple times, but I don't think he fits that particular style of play that Ten Hag was, and I think that's a big issue for Bruno at this moment in time.
Well said.
I mean, for me, I don't know if any of you know what entropy is all about, but second law of thermodynamics is that energy goes from concentrated to dispersed, essentially. And what you want to be efficient, you want to keep your entropy as low as possible. And that means less moving parts, less friction, and all these different things. And personally, because Bruno is like a free radical and he just goes everywhere across the pitch, I think that when he plays, we always look like it's the last 10 minutes of a football match where everything is stretched. And for now, Dora, I think that we need to be concentrating on being compact in defense and attack. So I don't know about Bruno. I agree with everything you've said about him being our best player and we've got to get him in the team. But I just wonder where now.
Yeah, I think that, I know this was one-off game, but I think that we've been talking about it for a few months right now. We need to be more compact. It's obvious that when we are open up, when we are trying to attack, we are so vulnerable at the back and in the midfield. And I think, if Ten Hag is smart, and I think that he is, I hope that he sticks with this kind of situation of, okay, we are going to, even though I have a lot of injuries at the moment, I don't have the most, I think quality team or whatever. I don't have the most, I don't have the best players at my disposal. I need to, be defensive at, be the best as I can be at the back and try to catch the players at the counter, because you know what, there are going to be games where those attackers are going to finally, they're going to score those goals, and they are not going to. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I'm optimistic in that sense, but yeah, it's an issue with Bruno, because I thought that his best moments in this club, first 18 months, we have been talking about him, being great with, Martial and Rashford on that left side of the midfield. However, after, all that kind of left and, we had Rangnick, he got more freedom. And I think I always thought that he was a bit too chaotic. And I always wanted him to be, you're a number 10. I know that you need to, go and create space for other guys, but I think that he needs to be more disciplined.
Yes.
And that's my biggest issue with him. Not even losing the balls, or that I think he needs to be more disciplined, and I think that he needs to be in a system finally, and he wasn't in the system for years.
Tell them.
Just to finish on this, my issue, I suppose my biggest issue with Bruno is that lots of teams, such as Man City with De Bruyne, are set up where De Bruyne is kind of allowed to try that ball to Haaland. But the difference is they're set up to deal with the transition and stuff. And what I'm beginning to wonder about Bruno is if he ever looks around and fine, he sees the pass, but does he see if we're in a position where we can lose the ball? And I think that's the biggest change he can make to his game, is just to control himself until he can play Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've got Bilal coming in saying Endo is still better than McTominay. Brilliant. Has Endo got 6 goals? Right, so Zoe is saying, did you hear Aaron Lennon's comments on Sky saying had Garnacho or Højlund taken their chances, it would be calling it a Ten Hag masterclass? I kind of agree with that, to be honest. If we'd won that, everyone would have said that was a Jose-like performance, and it would have been I still think it was a masterclass, to be honest. Bilal is saying Clive Tildesley levels for
goal.
And then he's also made a pretty good joke saying McTominay couldn't pass COVID to anyone. I like that one.
Well done.
And Sue's, one of my favourites, is in here. And she's saying we had some better players on the ball. Shame we could have won. Disciplined performance. They did a similar move in the match where McTominay fluffed his lines. Yeah, maybe. Without Bruno, much better. He's too chaotic. Sorry. And I think we're going to finish with, oh, look at Andrew talking about the second law of thermodynamics. That's exactly what I said. Let's pretend. He's talking about entropy, which is the reason your house becomes messy if you don't clean it. A better example is, do you have like any wired headphones or earphones, and you put them away for a week and you come back and they're all tangled, and you're like, I didn't tangle these up. Who's out here tangling these headphones? That's entropy. It's the sort of natural order for chaos, and Bruno is an agent of it. And it worries me. But I think unless anyone else has anything left to say, I think that's probably a good night from all of us.
Yeah, I just think it was a good show, really good show. I enjoyed that. Very good slide, very good talking points, very good audience as well. Appreciate you guys, and obviously big up to Dora for jumping on, and glad to hear we're on the same page at the end of the show, Dora. I thought we were going to fall out today.
Monday always does this emotional blackmail.
No, we are never going to fall out. Also, you should have said golazzo. That's my favorite word.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I said Europeans don't do good goal celebrations. But that one, yeah.
Germans say Tor. I mean, everyone is saying goal, and then Germans come in and say Tor.
What's the Tor mean? Goal?
Goal, yeah, in German.
Okay. I'm not with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying this, these streams and talking to you guys. Omondi and me, Bathttime. You know what? Don't try to pit us against each other. We are great. We are great. We are amazing. So please don't.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
I know Amonde's book of tricks, and this is what he does. He says he always threatens you by saying, "I thought we were going to fall out." Like, to try
I'm
and
not
get
intimidated.
You to agree with him.
He needs to do a lot more to intimidate me, so I'm not easily scared. So yeah, thank you for having me. I mean, my favorite segment, of course, is the lovey-dovey segment of who are we going to kiss, marry, and of course the horse. The horses. The horses are absolutely amazing. So thank you for having me.
Everyone's going to be watching the next game to see Amrabat now.
Yeah.
Imagine Amrabat in the blonde wig next game.
It'd be amazing. Like that time Haaland took his hairband off and looked like he was out of Baywatch. One of my favourite moments.
What have you started?
All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Let us know in the comments after the show if you like these kind of more light-hearted, silly shows, or if you want really structured shows about bloody left backs that no one's ever heard of, because I'm really hoping instead of you all going out and looking at some player on YouTube, you're going to go and look at Shetland ponies running, because I know what Monday is.
I am, yeah.
So Merry Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for spending your time with us.